Chapter 51, Skinheads, Sheridan, Oregon. This was the first prison that I had been to that I had to struggle to find black music on the radio. And the first prison that I had ever been to that had a majority white population. And it was the first prison that I had been to where I wasn't asked, "Hey homie, where you from?" as I came onto the compound. But I was asked, "Hey brother, how many brothers came off the bus with you?" This place was a skinhead stronghold, a biker gang haven, a Nazi utopia, a trailer trash heaven. Because of the conflict with the Crip and the biker in Colorado, I was probably sent here as a punishment. They were hoping I would be killed. Me, also being from DC, had to be extra cautious because in the maximum security prisons on the East Coast, the war between DC and the Aryans had taken another step as the Aryans stabbed two DC homies, killing one and almost killed the other. The homies retaliated, stabbing one of them to death. A brother from San Diego brought me up to speed with the politics on the compound. He said, "It was only a handful of brothers here and it didn't matter what city you came from, we stuck together." The compound was 85% white, 10% Latino and Hawaiian, and 5% black. The Hawaiians there lived in Hawaii, but because they didn't have a federal prison in Hawaii, they would serve their time on the mainland, thousands of miles away from home. Federal prisoners from the Virgin Islands were also subjected to the same rules. The staff was 100% white. He said every year on Adolf Hitler's birthday, the Europeans would get drunk and start yelling racial obscenities and harass the other races. I wondered, did they even know that Hitler killed mostly other whites? And probably would have killed them too. Dumb motherfuckers. Then on Martin Luther King's Day, the staff and a few inmates would celebrate his killer, James Earl Ray, by posting signs all over the prison saying, "Happy James Earl Ray Day." This year, we was gonna put an end to it. He had already heard about me in Colorado, so he had no hesitation in giving me the whole rundown of the prison. He then gave me a sharpened piece of steel broken from the bottom of a fence, and then introduced me to the other brothers in the block. 2 from DC, 2 from New York, the rest from the West Coast. 12 of us in total, and the other 150 inmates were white and Latino. On Martin Luther King birthday, we got ready for war. None of the broke trailer trash losers would take responsibility for putting up the "Happy James Earl Ray Day" signs all over the compound. We snatched all the signs down and went into the school building where someone drew a noose on the chalkboard and wrote HJERD. We had intelligence on who did it and he was going to pay for every sign that was put up. He was in the bathroom when we got there and a screwdriver was repeatedly slammed into his body. At the same time, the homies from Portland, Seattle, and Cali punished who they picked out earlier as suspects for the signs in their cell blocks. The prison was placed on lockdown and half of the small black population was removed from the compound. The administration then enacted rules that punished anyone who wrote HJERD, Happy James Earl Ray Day. Because of our unity, they backed down, but we weren't naive. We stayed aware of it all times. Even going into the shower, we would have someone watching our backs. Going to breakfast in the mornings would feel like a horror movie. We had to walk through fog as thick as rain clouds. The environment was ripe for sabotage. When I first hit the compound, I was told by one of the brothers that we should stay off of the recreation yard in the mornings because it wasn't safe. The fog was too thick and it was the preferred time for the whites. The rest of the day was ours. I immediately went to the rec yard, taking my extra sharp banger and a pair of gloves. My 19-year-old mind didn't believe in being told where not to go and what not to do. The yard was relatively small and filled with Europeans tattooed from head to toe. They were mostly neo-Nazis or from different biker gangs like the Outlaws and the Mongols. But they all knew where I was from, and they were all aware of the Richmond chapter of the Hells Angels that punished the Aryan affiliates in Colorado. And they were cool with DC. And I was from DC, from Colorado. What they didn't know was, while I was in the hole with the leader of the Hells Angels, I asked them, "Why did y'all bang on the other white boys?" He said, "Fuck them rednecks. We from Virginia. Y'all from DC. We homies." Yeah, okay. I knew these Nazis and bikers weren't allies with the Aryans. In fact, they didn't even get along. But I still had to stay aware of the politics. Sometimes favors are given and favors are repaid in blood. And deceptive actions are sometimes employed for us to drop our guards. This was a medium security prison and Aryans weren't allowed in mediums, but they had their affiliates. They only could go to max. I wasn't allowed in max because they had age limits and I was way too young, unless I was extremely violent or was charged and convicted with a jailhouse murder. The fog on the yard was thick like white smoke from a chimney and there were no guards in sight. I gauged the reactions and energy of everyone I walked past. I secured a bench amongst the 15 or so other benches, did 5 sets of curls with the 40s, then walked the lap. The prison was on eggshells. The Europeans knew that if I was harmed, it could spawn retaliation across the country. Just like I really didn't want any trouble. They didn't either. I was also told to be aware of the white woman officers. They were known to flirt, and a few brothers were actually fucking them. I knew about white America's history of framing black men for so-called rape of white women, so I wasn't interested in them. But as soon as I was thinking about it, one of them appeared through the fog, walking towards me. I moved to step out her path, and she moved with me and smiled. "Hi, are you new here?" "Yeah, 2 weeks ago. I came from Phoenix." "Oh, nice. Well, I'm here from 6 to 2 every day. My office is in the front." "Alright, cool. So now you know where to find me. Don't be a stranger." She smiled. I didn't. As she walked off with the extra twitch in her hips and a smile, I was watching my surroundings with one hand gripped on my banger. I then headed towards the exit where the fog wasn't as dense. As I was leaving on a 10-minute move, 5 brothers walked up in a hurry. "Man, what you doing up here, bro? We heard you was up here by yourself, so we came looking for you." "Oh, I'm good, homie. I was just taking a stroll." An older brother from Las Vegas spoke. "Look, young brother, no disrespect, but this is not about you. It's about all of us. We have to stay aware and abreast of the ongoing war going across the country with your homies. If one of them crackers do something to you, it's a war. We ride. But most importantly, some of us are going home soon. And one bad decision by any one of us could turn 6 months into 25 years. Because we're coming to kill. We have no choice. We're outnumbered here 20 to 1. So we need you to take everyone in consideration when you're making your decisions. It's chess, not checkers. You dig?" I dug what he was saying. It was a simple lesson in survival. I was in a new environment with new rules. I was in an unfamiliar space. In American prisons, black people were always the majority, but here it was abnormal. We were the minority. It didn't take much to lose your life in a cage full of hostile men. One bad move can get you hurt. One slip could put you in the dirt. Rest in peace, nigga.